Welcome back everyone to the October 2018 base race where I am still being besieged within my own base. We still have perpetual, probably midnight going on. It is perpetually midnight. I've got an alien inside my base. We've got fire spreading all over the place apparently. It's a lot of noise here. I think, Ed, if you were looking for everything that you could possibly think of to make me not like this particular edition of the base race, I think you have quite succeeded. Uh-oh, yikes, yikes! Yikes, 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 I'm not going to get up there, right? Yeah, this is the weather. Actually, you can't run away from. Oh. What? I survived? Well, that's the good news. The bad news is I'm down to 1 heart. Yeah. Hey. I wonder if sleeping will make it perpetual dawn. Or if it'll just make things worse. Well, they can't possibly get worse than they are now. So let's see if it makes things worse. Alright. Now that I've gone and made things worse, let's see. What do I have here? Oh. That's right. I think I lost the charge I had. Well, I certainly... Those are the only 2 things I've found so far. No idea where the noise is coming from. Yeah, it's still midnight. That's never going to end. Alright. Worst conditions I've ever seen in a base race. Well, I suppose it's appropriate for this time of year. And now I know why I'm not particularly fond of Halloween. What should I do about this? Yep. We're back at the beginning. And I mean the very beginning of this base race. This room should look familiar. It's where I made my original choices. We are going to be doing it all over again. Which parts of the base race are you playing? I've always been curious as to what would happen if you select I will skip the base stage and I just want to build, because I have just gotten over the race stage for this month. I don't think I'm going to get through it, and it's just getting worse and worse, so I'm just going to make a build out of this, so I shall do that. Whatever that does, I don't know. Well, for one thing, those things disappear because they're now redundant. Either that, or did they originally exist? That's an interesting question. I never thought to compare because I wasn't thinking about those things disappearing. Therefore, I didn't consider whether clicking skip erases them or whether clicking do the whole thing puts them there. Well, I'll have to remember that for next time. Well, okay, all this stuff about these little things we can now forget about. In fact, I had raised my brightness back to 100% while doing the MHC for the month, and I forgot to put it back up, so I wasn't even following the rules, and I was thinking it was too dark and messy for me. I'd take to see what would happen if I was actually following what I was supposed to be doing there. So, which item would you prefer to collect and build with? Well, obviously I won't have to worry about collecting it, but I'll still go with the stone bricks and the terracotta option. There you go. I guess I don't have to worry about all that other weird stuff. Oh yeah, there is one more thing I want to take care of before I head out. I decided to remove that resource pack because if I'm just doing the build, I would like to do that build without that resource pack. Well, the laser gun and Patreon cap are sort of moot. I don't know. So yeah, because now of course it's a bow now because because the resource pack is no longer there. And yes, it gives the message out, but you don't hear the welcome to base race because I removed the resource pack. Let's go. And now we are in here. It's nice and quiet. I don't have aliens all over the place. What I do have are a series of items that I need to collect. And I'm hoping they look the right color now since I removed the resource pack. Yes, everything is all nice and properly colored, so I can build with that. Looks a lot less alien now, doesn't it? And I won't have to worry about monsters or anything like that since we're in this. Of course, I do need to find a good place for my build. And since I've skipped the race stage, I guess I'll just have to populate a shulker 3 with the items and I'll be ready to go and start my build as soon as I think about what to build. My build is inspired by the old movie Silent Running, which was a space film with an environmentalist theme in it. The idea is that they sent these pods into space that were holding environmental the force. The entire thing was to save the force by sending them into space because they're being destroyed on Earth. So therefore my build is going to be a ship or pod that is going to be holding this. Therefore I will have a glass type ceiling where we are going to have place for light come in when they're near a star, and we'll also have a base of something else and dirt and stuff like that. So this is one that is going to be a little piney in the type of stuff that's in there. We're going to begin with a base of obsidian because I'm trying to think what would be our base for our ship. I would like to have used something like iron to have some sort of metal or like, but I was thinking that perhaps since we are in creative here, that I could actually get away with using obsidian. You usually don't want to use obsidian in building. I have done it on a couple of times, but obsidian is a real pain to work with if you are in survival mode, but no such problem in creative. And it'll certainly mean that we're not going to have this thing blown up quickly by a creeper or anything like this. See how large you can make this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So therefore we'll have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So therefore I have a diameter of 19. And I'll need to build a circle from this, and that's what we'll start as our foundation in there. I'll need to look up a nice template for a circle, and first build a circle, then we can see where we're going to go from there. There you go, one circle. And if I want to build a dome on top of this, good thing I'm giving myself half a month in order to build this, because this is going to take me a little bit of a while in order to get right. Now, if I've got this out of obsidian, there is one problem with obsidian, and that is that it does not currently have slabs and stairs and such things associated with it. Now, they are adding a whole bunch of new slabs and stairs in 1.14, but that's not yet available, and I don't know if obsidian is going to be one of those anyway. Therefore, no chance on that matter. See, if we've got this for obsidian. I'm wondering what we do after that for the interior, because we got obsidian as the outside, but I think I should use something with slabs on the inside. That way we have this slightly downward shape into it. But I'm trying to think what would be a good material that has slabs and stairs. I want to avoid wood, and that leaves stone. Well, actually I have to use something that is, oh yes, of course, I have to use something that's within the palette. Stone bricks is in the palette, and sandstone is in the palette. And of course wood. Which one would be better? I'm thinking of arranging this based on the 4 seasons. Therefore I'll use blue ice to represent winter. I'm going to use the red wool, that will represent summer for the red of summer. Green, of course, would be spring. Therefore in this direction we'll have autumn. Now that would mean orange. Does that mean using terracotta, or do I have something better I can use than terracotta to represent autumn? For now I'll probably have to use terracotta. If I could think of something better, it would be great. Acacia? Well, it'll give me the planks that I need. Yeah, how about acacia? And alright, do we want the strip acacia? We want strip acacia logs, not strip acacia wood. Alright, we'll compare the stripped acacia log to the acacia wood or the acacia plank and see which one looks better for what I want to do. First of all, let's try the planks. And yeah, I think this will be good, and that will then take care of that particular section. Good, now I have the 4 seasons. The ice, of course, is winter. The green is going to be spring. The red will be summer for the hot sun. And then orange for, of course, the changing of the leaves and all. And that give our 4 divisions for our 4 seasons. On top of the main circle here, I'm also going to need a semicircle going up and around to turn this into a dome. And I don't think I've ever made a dome before. I want to make this level right here the center point of it, which means that the line down there just goes slightly below the center point. And therefore I'll need to go 3 up and then imitate what I did around here onto here, which is going to make that interesting, to say the least. Let's see if I could do this properly. That'll work. Yeah, that actually looks like a dome. How about that? Now I'm going to put glass in the upper section going around. And the glass then will of course be letting in sunlight to help photosynthesis, because this is going to have all sorts of plants inside of here. Now I'm only allowed 64 blocks of glass. Therefore I can't do the entire dome out of glass. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the upper sections of it, and then when I run out of glass space, then when I run out of glass, then I have to switch to other materials. Now the question is, what color is there? Now there is an asterisk on the glass. The question is, whether I am required to use stained glass or if I could use clear glass. Now let's pretend that we have some sort of filter on our glass, and that's going to give it a slightly stained look. Not filter, glass. And what would be something with a minimal of change to it? I want something that's close to clear, but we'll assume that it's letting in sunlight and reflecting its little bit. So yellow glass, yeah, we want to have obviously more like the opposite of yellow, because we want as much yellow as possible to get in. More likely we want to reflect off the blue. Yes, we want to reflect the blue because we want the right. Now we know that leaves tend to reflect green. So therefore we obviously so maybe we actually use green stained glass. A lot of the glass that it's going to mute the colors of it, but we know that the green is not going to be a color that's going to be used by the plants all that much. But blue, I was thinking that if you had very high blue filter and to reflect off a lot of blue light, it might also try to reflect off the ultraviolet light. Or yes, let's try. In fact, blue is what's originally called for in the race. Now I gotta be able to put 64 pieces of this. I also need to get the shape here to be accurate. And that's going to be the tricky bit. Now I've never done a dome before. I want to make sure that I get, because I not only have to have circles around here, but I also have to step down, step down, step down as I go all around there, and the circles get wider and wider. How about if I just, let's try this for now, and I'll probably have to do some filling in the end. So far I'm using 1, 2, 3, 6. I've used up 24. I've already used up more than a third of my glass allowed. Yippee! That takes up 52, 13 in each of the quadrants. That leaves me only 64 left, which is 12. So obviously I can't go and put glass all the way around at the next section. Perhaps I'll emphasize it on the summer side. And that way we could have slightly cooler on that end, slightly warmer on that end, due to how we're spacing this out. So that means going out one more layer. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 11 by 11. As so. This may actually work out. We'll get 2 there, 2 there, 1 and 1, 2 there, or we'll put the 2 there, 1 and 1, and that should give me exactly 64 pieces of glass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We did the same thing here. 36. And then on this side we had 13 for each of those, which is 26. No, I must have counted that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 40, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, 19. Okay. 38 by 26. 38 plus 26 is 64. All right. Good. Therefore, that's our glass to it, and that's the beginnings of our dome. Feel fill in the lower parts of the dome and start to think about what's inside in the next episode as we build for the October 2018 base race.